Hey guys, what's the crack? So in this video, we're going to go over calculating means. This comes up nearly every year now in those past papers, and spotting anomalous results, okay, or spotting anomalies. Okay, so this is a video you really want to see it. You really want to make sure you review, because again, it's coming up really often or more often in those past papers. If you want extra help, you can always check out my resources, and you can always join our online classes. So first one, can we calculate the mean? So basically we had a girl, and what they did was they measured her reaction time in milliseconds. So milliseconds, just remember, is like 1,000 times smaller. So the same way that a millimeter is a much smaller than a meter. We can remember that a millipede's got 1,000 legs. So there's going to be 1,000 millimeters inside 1 meter. It's the same thing. There's going to be 1,000 milliseconds inside 1 second. Okay, so just make sure you understand what a millisecond is. But what we want to do is calculate her mean. So remember, to calculate a mean, all you do is you add up all of the results. That's the first step. So the first step is we're going to add them all together, and then you divide by the number of times that she repeated it. So she did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So we're going to add them up and divide by 5. So in your calculators, because remember you always have a calculator in your physics exam, all you do is add them together. So we're going to do 258. We're going to add 265. We're going to add 302. We're going to add 248. And we're going to add 327. Then you're going to divide by 5 to get your answer. And mine says 280. And I know my answer then is going to be 280. Remember, the unit is milliseconds. You can write out the word milliseconds, or AMS is how you write milliseconds fast. Now again, I know you might think it's a bit long, but please repeat it. The amount of times that people type the wrong number in their calculator is shocking. Okay, so just slow yourself down and do it again. This is a beautiful mark. Okay, so what we're going to do is 258. Add 265, add 302, add 248, add 327, and then we're dividing by 5. I just did it 5 times to get 280. Okay, and remember, the reason why we don't just do things one time, because if we did it one time, it's quite likely that we'll make a mistake. So we shouldn't do experiments one time. We should repeat it, because if we repeat the experiments, it makes our results more reliable. Okay. So we can see here with my bottom example why we should repeat things. So this time we've got 3 different students. We've got Dave, we've got Lucy, and we've got Shelley. And what they did was we're measuring their reaction time. So remember, reaction time is like how quickly you respond to changes. For example, if someone's to drop something, it's how quickly I can catch it, right? How quickly I can respond to that change. So Dave, the first time his reaction time, this time is in seconds, was 0.29. The second time was 0.47. The third time was 0.27. And we want to calculate Dave's mean. Remember, we said to calculate the mean, you add them all up and you divide by the number of times that we did the result. So clearly you can see here we did the result 3 times. But hopefully what we're thinking is I can spot an anomalous result. Okay, so an anomalous result means that something looks wrong. Okay, so does something look wrong? Okay, so again, look, first time 0.29, second time 0.47, third time 0.27. This number is much higher. So what that tells me, that's probably something wrong. Maybe he got distracted that time. Okay, so that's again why we should repeat things so we can spot if anything is wrong. And if something is wrong, all you do is just ignore it. Okay, so we're just going to ignore it. So now if I'm calculating the mean, I can see I only have 2 numbers to add together, and then we're just going to divide by 2 because there's only 2 results. So in our calculators, what we're going to do is 0.29. We're going to add 0.27, and we divide by 2 to calculate the mean for Dave, which is 0.28. So his mean is 0.28. Now the other way they can ask you in physics is to calculate the missing result. Okay, so this time for Shelley, we know what her mean is. We know her mean is 0.29. So we know to get 0.29, what they had to do was add these 3 numbers together. They had to do 0.31 plus where this missing gap is, plus 0.27. And then remember, what they do to get the mean is you add them together, you divide by the number of times we did the results. So there's going to be 3 different results to get 0.29. Now I want to figure out what this missing number is. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this divide by 3. Right? We do the reverse. So the opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. And we do to one side, we do the other. So the first step we do is we do 0.29 multiplied by 3. So we're reversing our steps. So 0.29 multiplied by 3 gives me 0.87. So we know when we add these numbers together, we're going to get 0.87. So again, what I know now is 0.31 plus something plus 0.27 gives me 0.87. So I'm going to now, I'm going to add these numbers together to make my life easy. So I'm going to do 0.31. I'm going to add 0.27. And we see when you add those two numbers together, you get 0.58. So now what I have is 0.58 plus something gives me 0.87. So to find what that something is, all I'm going to do is my 0.87 take away my 0.58. And what we end up with there is 0.29. So this missing result is 0.29. So again, we knew that we added these three numbers together and we divide by 3, we get that mean. So the first step we did was we did the reverse. We multiplied by 3. So 0.29 multiplied by 3. Then what we did was we know if we add these three numbers together, we get that number. So what you can do is you take away 0.31. We can take away 0.27 and you get left with that missing result, which again is 0.29. So hopefully you find that video helpful.